The media and Democrats, though, full steam ahead on the Trump trashing train.
The Republican nominee, who also is a self-professed billionaire, that's an important part, Donald Trump, has a substantial cash problem, and a big one. If there is one thing that Donald Trump loves, it's other people's money.
The easiest option facing Donald Trump is the prospect of bankruptcy.
They know about all of the foolishness. They know about all of the corruption and everything that Donald Trump is, because there's people who want the bad guy to be president.
If that seizure of assets would be pursued to any other American, then Donald Trump should be treated the same. I actually think that there is risk in not seizing these assets.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha joins us now. Joe, good morning to you. The Biden campaign is also mocking Donald Trump. They came up with a nickname for him. They're calling him Broke Don. And I just said it before. We've seen what happens here before. When you mock the president, make him look like the victim that he is in these cases, it just benefits him politically. Should they be laughing?
No, this is the wrong strategy, Carly. Absolutely. I mean, if Letitia James actually goes ahead and starts seizing Trump assets, padlocking doors, walking workers out of Trump Tower or out of Golf Course X up in New York State, all while having, this big smile on her face, and she's basically publicly twerking that, oh, this is a great thing that we're embarrassing this guy. She will, and you can save the tape, clinch Donald Trump's victory in November and his return to the Oval Office. I mean, let's put it this way. I have friends in New Jersey. They range from police officers to doctors, lawyers, contractor, dentist, small business owner. You talk to them, and even if they vote reliably Democrat, they see this as the weaponization of the justice system, and they see this as an absolute crock, quite frankly. This judgment, which any sane and sober legal analyst out there will tell you is profoundly ludicrous, probably will be turned over in appellate court. And when that happens, it's going to be 1.21 gigawatts for the Trump campaign. Because if you take away the lawfare aspect of all of this, then you actually have a campaign and election that's based on the issues: inflation, crime, border, energy, trade, foreign policy. And when this strategy falls apart, the issues will be what impacts the American people most. And on that front, Donald Trump is the odds-on favorite to become president again. And that's why they're so desperate to go down this road, because they know that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris can't win on the actual issues that they care about most.
Quick fact check on those clips that we just aired. Wrong, 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 and wrong. Everything that was said in those 4 clips was wrong. And I wonder why trust in the media is so low. Could have to do with that. Could have to do with this, Joe. NBC's Chuck Todd ripping his own bosses live on air for hiring former RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel as a political analyst. Watch.
Let me deal with the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I think our bosses owe you an apology for putting you in this situation, because I don't know what to believe. She is now a paid contributor by NBC News. She has credibility issues that she still has to deal with. When NBC made the decision to give her NBC News' credibility, you got to ask yourself, what does she bring NBC News?
Look, Democrats are trying to distract by saying this is their objection to a few comments she said about the 2020 election. But let's be real. Let's be honest, Joe. The left wants no Republican views in their media that could open the eyes of their viewers to the truth.
Todd, good thing I don't run NBC News, because I would have, after that segment, fired Chuck Todd on the spot. You got a problem with Ronna McDaniel being hired by NBC to be an analyst? Then you take it in private. You don't go on a show like Meet the Press, the show you were fired from, Chuck Todd. Remember that part? And start to publicly try to embarrass your bosses in this regard. If you look up insufferable in the dictionary, you'll never guess whose photo appears next to it. And it's funny to hear Chuck lecturing about Ronna McDaniel being hired, because I didn't hear one peep out of this guy when NBC News hired the equally insufferable Jen Psaki, who negotiated her contract with NBC while serving as White House press secretary, which is supposed to be a big no-no. So trust me, if Ronna McDaniel was DNC chairwoman, trust me, Chuck would be cheering this on. And again, I don't know how this guy has a job this morning when you go on the air and you do this. We saw this with Brian Stelter over at CNN. He called out his bosses publicly as well. He doesn't have a job. At least they had some integrity over there in terms of firing him. They should do the same thing to Chuck Todd, because I'm sorry, you don't go on the air and you start talking about this stuff. Go to somebody's office if you have a problem with this and talk to them about it. Don't do it on the air, because you're only, well, let's put it this way. We're talking about it now, so I guess he wanted the attention because he doesn't have a show anymore, right?
It's still a sad state of affairs. One, the fact that he did that on air, but two, the substance of it. Republican views are necessary, just like Democrat views are necessary on Fox. We do it. Everybody should do it. And if they're not, there are people who aren't
some
getting
balance.
Yeah, not getting the balance. Joe, thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.